here today, and I appreciate you individually for taking the moment to listen to what I have to say. Hopefully I can bring some value for you. We're talking liposuction. If you have any questions or concerns, maybe you're interested, you got to check out these amazing results. These are just in fresh off the press, as they say. This was an interesting lady. She came in with one of her friends who was a previous patient of ours, and she had some, questions or concerns and wanted to be seen, so we checked her out. And then I come to find out that this young lady here, her friend, is sitting there. I didn't recognize her. I don't recognize everybody, and she was a patient from, months ago, and she hasn't been super active within our communities, but she, I come to find out she was a previous patient. I'm like, oh, cool. Let's see what happened. So she pulls up her shirt and shows us what she's got, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And I go back and look at the previous picture, her before picture, and it's like, holy cannoli, as they say, right? Like this is just unbelievable to me that this is even possible. And even though I'm the one, and Kale and I together work and make this stuff happen, and we make it happen with our hands, it still blows my mind that this is even possible, that someone that used to look like this just a few months ago has completely changed. And that belly, that it almost looks like a duck bill, right? That's where she wore her pants. So those of you who wear your pants and you create that ridge right around the waistline, that's what she did. She wore her pants, and then because she was embarrassed and she didn't want people to see her lower belly, that fullness down there, she wore it tight. And she pulled it and cinched it up really tight, so then it ended up causing that line there. This is similar to those of you who have those fullness in the bra rolls, and you wear your bra really tight, and that causes a ridge, and it digs into the skin, and it causes specific rolls. Now, cool thing to notice here, if you look at her after photo, she's obviously lost some weight here, and we only treated the front of the abdomen. So when those individuals are saying, "Oh, we're only going to do the front of it," this is only the front of the abdomen. Yet look at the incredible, amazing, transformation of her body. It really blows me away. Any questions, anybody? Anybody connect with this? Anybody like, this is me? It looks just like me. I have the same problem. Or, we try to show a huge variety of individuals, and I know there's people like this that are out there that have these massive problems that causes so many issues in their life, and they just need help. And I see Mimi 7054 said, I need info. So Mimi, the first step you want to do is go to our website, and we have this quick quote system which allows you to, you can do this while we're talking right now. You go to our website, myshapelipo.com, and we have this quick quote. You can go through the system and you can get some basic pricing, for our most common procedures. If you got anything more complex and you need to speak with us directly, then we do our formal consultation, which is, we charge a fee for that, but you get to speak with myself or Kale. We'll evaluate your details, and try to figure out a plan for you moving forward. Okay, so can you still gain weight after having lipo? Of course, Wendy. Lipo is just the removal of fat. And this is why, Wendy, if you're new to the group here, you'll get an understanding of my tone and how I feel about this, is that, this doesn't work unless you work. Meaning we can make her look like this for now. However, if she goes and continues to do all the things that caused her to be this bigger person. Whoa, what happened to Facebook? That was weird. Sorry guys, we just got kicked off the Facebook. Okay, let's go back again. All right. Sorry, we're back on Facebook. Okay. So this lady, if she does not continue with her lifestyle changes and make improvements, then the results are not going to be as good. But as I was saying, you can see, if you look close, that she has changed her lifestyle, and you can see the proof of that in that her arms are smaller, her bra roll is smaller, so she doesn't have as much of a roll in that area. And you can see her waist and her butt are smaller. Her legs are even smaller in the after photo. So you can see the proof and the evidence of her actions, that's what's really important. When people tell me, hey, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, I've been doing this, but there's no results. Nobody knows what you actually do but you. So if you cheat yourself, then you're the one that's not going to get the results. I at an early age I learned, act as if someone's always watching you, and it's like Big Brother, right, watching you from the sky. But do everything as if someone's watching you, and do it the best that you can. And so that's always been my mindset. And some people will try to take the easy way out of doing things, and the consequences are is that it costs you in not getting the benefits of doing the work. So after these procedures, it's super important that you put in the work and you put in the time. And it's really about your motivation and your inspiration. What do you want to do? Why are you doing this? Are you doing this just to look good? Is it just to look a certain way? And now that you look that way, you can go back to your old patterns. If that's your thought, then that's usually what people do. When people ask me, can we gain weight afterwards? Or I'm doing this just so I don't have to diet and exercise. Like, that's a cop out, and that'll never be a long term. It's not, how should we say, sustainable. You can't live an unhealthy lifestyle and expect to live a good, healthy life. Okay. So, Wendy, it is possible to gain weight after liposuction. That's why it's important that you do maintain your diet and exercise, because your body will still store excess energy. So if you are intaking more energy than you're expending, then your body will store that excess energy as fat, and it'll be stored wherever the fat cells are. So if we treat the liposuction on a specific area, like in this young lady's case, if we treated her abdomen, then if she gains weight, the weight gain is going to be appreciated wherever she still has fat. So looking at this specific individual, she still has fat on her thighs. She has it in her arms and her breasts, and we saw from the previous picture that she has fullness in the backside as well. So we treated the front of the abdomen, and we've removed a significant volume of fat there. Now, supposedly the studies say that fat cells themselves don't reproduce. However, the fat cells that are left behind will swell up and get bigger. And sometimes they can get bigger than they were before. So as I was saying, the best results that you're going to get from this are when you follow the rules and do all the things that you're supposed to do. So if I can get you to this thinner, leaner person, you have to start acting as if you are that individual now, that lean individual, and you have to do what's necessary to maintain those results, or else they won't be maintained. I mean, this is simple stuff. I'm not making it more complex. It's really simple. You have to do the things to maintain. Just as if you got a new car. You went out and spent $50,000 on a brand new car, and you're like, I'm gonna take care of it. I wash it every week. I wax it every quarter. I get it vacuumed out regularly. I change the oil every 5,000 miles. I get the brakes changed. I change the tires. All this, these are maintenance, right? This is maintenance for our car. Well, that car will last you longer. See, the funny thing is more people put more time and effort into maintaining the external stuff in their life, their cars, their house, their whatever. They're fixing everything else around them, all the external stuff that doesn't really matter. But we're spending a lot of time trying to create this like external visual thing, like make people think a certain thing about you, when if you spent that time fixing yourself and improving yourself, you would start to look more like this person that's taking care of themselves, that's healthy, that has a functional life. It's a choice. It's a choice. And I had become very aware of that in dealing with people over the years that don't want to change. And when they come to me and they're asking for me to make these big dramatic changes for them, however, their reasonings are because they don't want to do the things that are necessary to become this type of person. And they want the easy way out is what they ask. And those people, it's always a short-term fix. It's always a short-term fix, because they never change the way that they think. And they continue to think as if they are this larger individual. We just took the fat off. But if they continue to think like they're this larger individual, then they'll continue to do the same actions. And you can imagine what those actions might be, right? Less activity, more calories, and whatever that means, But if you want to become this leaner person, you get more active. you eat fewer calories, you drink more water, you eat less sugar, less carbs, perhaps. And simple changes in your life will lead to big, huge, dramatic changes over time. It doesn't happen overnight all the time. This is a big, huge, dramatic change that happened very quickly, but to maintain it and continue to improve, it's a long time thing. It's a journey that we're all on. We're constantly improving. What's up, Elsie Salazar? Elsie's one of our rock stars, previous patients. She's made some huge dramatic changes, and it's been fun to watch her. So any of you, I know Rebecca's here as well. Any of you girls that have made these lifestyle changes that you noticed big dramatic change, if you could kind of share some of the things that the bigger change thing, because I think people want to, where do I start? What am I going to do? What's the biggest bang for the buck? If I change this lifestyle habit, where am I gonna get the biggest change? Elsie says lifestyle change is what you need to do to not just get the procedure done and see results. Absolutely. What's up, Elsie? Thank you for stopping by. It's amazing. See, I think that when previous patients that have had the procedure and had these type of successes, when they stop by, it's really important. For one, they need to share. They need to pay it forward, because when they pay it forward, it reminds them where they came from, and it strengthens their new confidence in realizing how far they have come from where they were. And that's why, and as I'm speaking to you right now and telling you these different, dang it, Facebook died again, and telling you these different lessons, as I'm speaking this stuff, it's helping me. I benefit from these videos, as when I give you this information and I try to share the experiences that I have, I'm paying it forward, and it solidifies it in my mind, which helps me. And so these are like my therapy talks. I get to learn, I get to benefit, and hopefully I can benefit you girls as well. Man, Facebook is just dying.
Check to see if you're on the billion PR. Maybe you got switched.
It's live right now, but it's PRI1.
Yeah.
Is that the right one?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, and these pictures are just it blows me away. It blows me away. When I spoke to this young lady, she saw this picture, and it was incredible, right? To see, and this was just a few months out, and what she saw. This was her perspective on what she thought was very important to point out is if you look at this picture here, where her tattoo is on her leg, you can see how her belly in the before picture hangs down below where the tattoo is. And I would say it's below by, what would you say, Granville, like 3 inches maybe?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
3 at least, maybe more. And then in the after photo, it's like 6 inches up above the tattoo. Like, that's unbelievable. And this is just liposuction, no cutting away of skin. So those of you who believe, oh, I need to get a tummy tuck, it's not going to retract back, I'm going to have a loose hanging sack of skin, just take a look at this. This is what is possible for some, maybe not all, but it's unbelievable who's getting, how many people are getting these type of results. And this is still, I would say, a month out perhaps. And still swollen, still very swollen. Okay, so typically how long does it take to see this end result after lipo? So these aren't end results, and that's why I was telling you, you got to view this stuff as a journey. Really, that's why we keep using these words, and you're going to continue to improve. So these are the results at whatever period of time. And it's a timeline, right? So it's going to continue on for years afterwards, and you're going to continue to improve as you change your diet, you change your exercise, you change your lifestyle, as you improve on a yearly basis. You take a 10-year photo before and after, and it's possible that she's a completely different person. I mean, like a completely different body. It's possible if she puts in the time and the effort. If she doesn't, and she goes back to her old ways, in 10 years, she might look the same as she did in the before picture. And this was just a lull. You know, a time when she was smaller for a short period of time and then she went back to her old patterns. Got to change the patterns. So how long does it take to see the results? You know, you'll see the results quick. The fat's gone immediately. Now, after the fat's gone, your body's natural reaction is going to be to swell up. So it swells up, and you're going to get a little bit bigger before you get smaller. So you swell up, get a little bit bigger, and then the swelling, your body heals, and the swelling goes down. That could take weeks to months, sometimes even longer. Okay, can you gain weight after lipo? It is possible. You've asked that question a few times, so I want to make sure you get that answered. It is possible to gain weight, but you're going to gain weight wherever the fat cells are. So if you don't have as many fat cells in a specific area, you'll gain weight less in that area and more in the other areas where you have the fat. Okay, how much fat can you remove? And can you get a flat, what does that say? A flat lipo is possible? You know, look, Wendy, obviously everyone's different, and you can see the different results that different individuals get. So, you know, our job is to get as much fat out as we can to give you the best possible chance at getting these type of results, or getting the best results for your body, for that matter. Now, what does that mean for you? I don't know exactly. I haven't seen you. I don't know anything about you. And to be honest with you, even if I have seen you and I have evaluated you, you know, we don't know exactly what's possible until we do it. When we do the procedure, then we'll figure it out. And it's either it's gonna be possible to have unbelievable, amazing, incredible results, or there's gonna be some type of limiting factor. So we work with your body. We do the best we can. Now, we've done a lot of these, so we have the ability to get these incredible results. All we need to do is, you know, have the opportunity. You have to show up. You know, we can't do this for you unless you show up. You know, you got to do what's necessary to get to us. Okay, was this individual's procedure just stomach or 360? Kimmy, I'm not sure. You know, a lot of these ones that we've been looking at recently are just the front of the abdomen. And you know, it's funny that we use the word just, because just is like makes it sound like it's small, like we didn't do much. It was a limited amount, but you can clearly, man, this is incredible how much work was done to achieve these type of results. This is a big deal. It's a big procedure, and it's challenging for us as well as the patients. Afterwards, the recovery process is more challenging because it's a bigger area. Where it's more traumatic to the body. So these larger volume procedures are definitely a higher risk, and they tend to swell more for a longer period of time. So like this one here, she's still very swollen, and you know, it will likely be swollen for months after the procedure. That would be expected because it was traumatic. There's another question about how long does it typically take to see results. You know, there's a saying, the results, the fat has gone immediately. So, you know, you may see some of the pictures at different time frames. We do that on purpose because of people that ask about these things. So you can see the results immediately, but you're going to be swollen afterwards. So how quickly the swelling goes away will determine, you know, how quickly the final results are there. Sometimes, you know, I would say the final results are somewhere down a year down the road, but much of the recovery process happens early on in the first couple weeks and months. Okay. Yeah, Rebecca was saying that the live was messing up on Facebook. I know, Rebecca. I don't know what it just basically shut off twice while I was speaking, so I'm not sure what's going on with Facebook. I know their stock is tumbling and staff is running out the the place, so maybe they're having some struggles. But then again, Instagram's owned by Facebook too, so who knows? Okay, heard a lipo isn't fit for me. Missy baby. Well, you're obviously curious, and maybe you don't believe the BS that you've been told. But you can see all of these patients behind us are lipo only. No tummy tucks. Not a single one of them gets a tummy tuck. And you can see it's not a loose hanging sack of skin like the BS that the plastic surgeons like to tell people. So you don't have to get a tummy tuck. We can clearly get these results. And Facebook's gone again. All right. So we'll just focus on Instagram and YouTube. So yeah, clearly we can get these results when it's not tummy tuck, and it's possible for you. So you have to make the decisions that are right for you. I'm speaking with you, Miss Missy baby. um, you know and maybe you get a different opinion, and you're scheduled for tummy tuck in 2 weeks, and I don't have a lot of skin, of fat. Okay, I mean, look, I'm not saying it's right for everybody. It's, like I said, you have to make the choice. You have to do the research. And if you see pictures of people that look similar to you, then it's a possibility that it could work out for you. But, you know, some people just have loose skin and they don't have fat, and that's okay. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. In many cases, I not many cases, but I get a lot of patients. I don't know how often people that get tummy tucks go on to get liposuction, but I get a lot of patients that get tummy tucks and then they still have this square shape to them because usually they don't do enough liposuction to carve out the waistline and create the hourglass figure. So we get a lot of patients that get a tummy tuck and then come back to get all the fat sucked out. So Miss Missy, baby, I'm not going to try and tell you and convince you one way or the other. I can only show you what's possible for our patients, and you make your own decision. And I wish you luck with whatever you do. And if you need motivation, I'm always here for you. Okay, lipo is only lightweight females. That's not true. That's crazy. Look at our patients. Miss Missy baby, I'm gonna convince you now. Now you're challenging me. This is, so now you're bringing some of these myths that you would hear from a plastic surgeon. So when you go to a plastic surgeon, they're gonna tell you liposuction is only for individuals that are their ideal weight. And Miss Missy baby, if you look at any of these pictures behind me, there is not a single one of them is at their ideal weight. Not a single one of them. However, these are all the people that were told by plastic surgeons that they couldn't help them because they have to be their ideal weight. So I have been helping these individuals for years, almost 15 years now, 16 years. I've been helping these larger individuals to get rid of their bellies. Okay, sorry, was talking about the last patient, not this woman. Sorry, Kimmy, Arizona. I apologize. We'll keep switching out the pictures. So when you refer specifically to a picture, I'm not sure exactly which one you're talking about. Oh, that's so nice, Kimmy, Arizona. You see me do my work as miracles. I so appreciative that you would make that type of comment. And in my studies, I found that a lot of the things that people believe to be miracles are things that they didn't believe were possible at the time. That's why when people see magic, they're like they can't believe it's possible. They're like, oh my God, it must be mystical and magical, and I can't believe it. And the only difference in the reason why they're able to do that and you're not able to do that, the only difference is knowledge and experience. And so I have the knowledge and experience to be able to do these type of things, and it's not difficult. It's I've done it thousands and thousands of times. So from the outside, it might appear like a miracle, but this is just my training. This is my programming. I program myself like a machine on the ability to do these things, and be fast and efficient and consistent results. And it's been fun over the years. I've been able to change the lives of, thousands of people. And the really exciting ones are the ones that they come to me and they're ready to commit their life to change. And they're ready to live a healthier lifestyle. People like Rebecca Rexroth, Elsie Salazar, Blanquita. There's so many of our patients that they keep coming back. They keep showing off their new body because they keep changing, they keep improving, they keep getting better. So we keep updating these pictures. The before and afters just keep getting updated because each time we get a new picture and it's better than the last one. And so those of you who are perhaps you're new to this and you're not sure what you're trying to do, or what's even possible for you, you're trying to make decisions. The ability to see what others have done in their situation and what their outcome is now, it gives you experience that you don't even have to go through. So like these individuals, you can communicate with them through our private Facebook group, if Facebook ever works. But you can connect with them on our private Facebook group, My Shape Lipo Support Group. So you're going to get on Facebook and you're going to search My Shape Lipo Support Group. Um, and you're going to connect, you can connect directly with many of our previous patients and hear their stories and ask them questions and get the real information. These aren't reviews. It's not reviews. This is real people, and you can connect directly with them. So I'm hoping, this is my hope, that the ability to connect with other individuals that have actually had the procedure, like real people, it'll allow you to feel more comfortable with me, for one, in that you understand that myself and Kale's not here right now, but that we're the ones that do this procedure. You get a good relationship with us. You get to see how we communicate, how we deal with people. And then not only that, how our patients see us, so you can get more comfortable, because ultimately this is a big decision for you. You're making a big change in your life, and it's important that you are stepping forward, and we're in congruence, meaning we all have the same goal. And the goal should be to help you move from where you are now to living this better life. And this is the kickstart, the jump start, the kick in the pants, get you off the couch to actually start doing and taking action on your beliefs, action on your desires. I think we had a question here. What's up, Cha-Cha? Glorious woman. Thank you for stopping in. See, how many hours for most large volume lipos do you also do BBLs and 360 lipos? Glorious woman. So so let me answer first how long the procedures take. On our larger volume procedures, it could take 3 hours, sometimes even longer. It's our intent to get the procedures done as quickly as possible, because the quicker we get it done, the less trauma, less issues the patient have. So the importance of getting it done quickly is the difference between a patient doing well after the procedure and not doing well. So it's our intent to get them done quicker. However, sometimes they can take longer. It just depends. Sometimes we have unforeseen issues and challenges that we need to get through, which might take a little bit longer. So we do our best. And do we do BBLs and 360 lipo? Yes, we do. However, with larger individuals, it's just a different pattern, essentially. With smaller individuals, we might be able to do the entire 360 in one procedure. Larger individuals, we would have to break it up into multiple procedures. And the reasoning is for safety. We're only allowed to take out a certain amount of fat safely. And if you can kind of think of it more as, instead of a fixed amount, it's more so a percentage of the body. So larger individuals, it's safe. Let's just say an arbitrary number is like 10%, right? So we're able to remove 10% of the body weight. Larger individuals, that 10% is a larger number than a smaller individual. 10% is a smaller number. So in real numbers, a 200-pound individual, 10% is 20 pounds. And a person that's 100 pounds, 10% is only 10 pounds. Now, these are arbitrary numbers, so please don't use them and quote me on any of this stuff. I'm just trying to show as an example. We can take out more on larger individuals to make huge dramatic change. Smaller individuals, we have other restrictions. So our guidelines and the restrictions that we give based on BMI, if you check out our quick quote, the restrictions that we have, or the categorization, they're for safety purposes. So it is possible to do a 360 on a smaller individual. On larger individuals, we might break it up, but you can see the results. It still blows me away that we get the opportunity to help people like this. And I know that she hasn't really, expressed thank you or offered gratitude, but I know that this has changed her life. And I know in my heart that I can keep moving forward, and I can sleep well at night knowing that I've changed lives like people like this. And that's what what's exciting about this. And it's even more exciting as I do this longer, and people come back to me that were 5 years or 10 years ago, and it's changed their lives. And so then you can look back and hear the story of this decision right now. It put them on a different path, and this different path allowed them to accomplish all these amazing things in their life and bring them happiness and joy. And that just warms my heart. That's why I'm doing this, right? And the longer we do this, the more these people start coming out of the woodworks. Because I think right after these procedures, a lot of people, if you're happy, you just go about your life because you're happy. And sometimes it takes a little reflection. something to happen, or you realize something and you realize, the people in your life that helped to get you to where you are. Because we were all given help from somewhere, whether it was a teacher, a coach, maybe your parent gave you a little help somewhere, a little advice, and that advice that you remember for the rest of your life, and it affects and guides you for the rest of your life. I'm hoping, because I've been planting seeds through these words that I'm giving you on each of these lives, I'm planting seeds in your mind that at some point you're going to realize and it's going to click, and then you're going to start living your best life. And it's going to make sense to you at why you should work so hard to live your best life. Because the truth is, it is hard to live as a fat person. Most of you guys can appreciate that. Can someone give me a high five on this? It's not easy when you're overweight and you can't fit into clothes properly, or it's hard to get up from the couch or from a seated position, or you're out of breath walking up and down stairs, or since you don't fit into clothes very well, you have to get these big drapey clothes or spandex or anything that would fit you. If you're trying to cover it up, you're using these spandex type stuff, which is uncomfortable. I know this stuff is not easy to live with. So when people say, oh, but it's so hard to change, it's so difficult, and it's going to take me forever. But that's not true. That's the lies that we tell ourselves. That's the big lie. And that's the lie that stops you from getting off the couch. Because you're like, oh yeah, it's too difficult. It'll never happen for me. And you just stay right where you are. But I'm talking to that person out there that says, you know what, that's crap. I know I can get off the couch. I know I can go out and walk around the block. I know I can drink more water. These are simple things. Simple things. If you can cut out, any fruit juice and only drink water, you do that for 3 months and drink the proper amount of water, it'll change your life. Guaranteed. Guaranteed you'll notice a huge difference. Even if you didn't change anything else in your life, that one simple habit of only drinking water and drinking, so you want to drink about your half of your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you want to drink 100 ounces of water. Half your body weight in ounces. If you can do that, it'll change everything about your body. You don't even need to know how. There's lots of physiological stuff I can tell you, all these things, the reasons why, and you don't need to know. Maybe if you think it's going to strengthen your why, then go out and do your research, read the books, and understand why. But it's so easy. What about getting up and walking? We already know, sedentary is going to kill you. Sedentary will lead to these, you're not burning enough calories, so it allows you to get bigger. You're eating too much and not burning enough calories. So how about getting off the couch and walking around? Is it easy? Could you walk a mile a day? Is that possible? Maybe. Maybe you're like, well, I have bad knees, bad hips, I can't walk, so the weight has caused damage to the joints already. So maybe that's going to be difficult for you. So could you swim? Could you ride a bike? Could you do something? Maybe, I don't know, whatever your level is, you got to do something. You just got to move. Whatever it is, you have to move. And you have to plan for that every day. You're doing something. You can't be sedentary anymore. You got to move. Because if you don't use it, what? You lose it. If you don't start moving around, eventually you're going to not be able to move around. And then life sucks. It's difficult, it's challenging. Then, disease starts to set in. It's usually around the 40s and 50 decades, 60 decade. People start failing. Their body starts failing them because they haven't taken care of themselves. So at some point, and this happened to my mom at 75 or 74 or something like that. She realized, like, oh my gosh, it's my responsibility to take care of myself. The government's not going to do it for me. They're not going to tell me the right stuff. I need to go find that information. I need to do the things that are necessary. And once you take that responsibility for yourself, it's like the whole world changes for you. Because you are just an accumulation of what you consume. Let me repeat that because it's so important. This body is only an accumulation of the things that we consume. So the things that you put in your mouth will be broken down through your organs. The bad stuff's filtered out through the liver and the kidneys. The good stuff is taken out through the bowels. And then the bad junk, we poop out the backside. And then we pee out the urine. Those are all the stuff that's not good for us. All the other good stuff is taken into our body as building blocks. And it just builds the different tissues. And it's to help rebuild. And they say that every 7 years, every single cell in our entire body is completely different. That includes bone, brain cells, blood cells, lymph nodes, everything. Everything changes. All of our organs, all the cells are completely changed. Now it doesn't happen overnight like that, but it's a slow process of as the cells die, new ones are grown. Now, what are those cells grown as? What are you feeding those cells? What are the building blocks that you're creating? Are you eating junk? So therefore you're making the straw house, right? The stuff that's not going to hold up, the stuff that's going to fail you. That's a straw house. And is that what you're creating in your life? Are you eating junk food? Are you not exercising? You're not doing the things to build your castle? If this is your temple, this is your body, you can build it however you want. Let's say it takes 7 years to completely rebuild your body. How are you going to do it? That's what you should start thinking about. And you know what? A 1,000-mile race, it starts with the first step. All you have to do is start taking the first step. And then tomorrow, you take one more step. And then tomorrow, you take one more step. And then maybe you start feeling more comfortable. You can take 2 or 3 steps. Then maybe you start jogging and running. But it starts with the first step. Simple stuff. Break it down. Okay. Minx says, you're buying thigh-high compression socks. Tell me what level, please. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what level that comes in. You're gonna have to do what's comfortable for you. The socks is preventative, and if you look at the science behind it, it's kind of somewhat inconclusive. It decreases your chance of getting blood clots. So I wouldn't say it has to be super tight. Don't make yourself uncomfortable. However, compression socks after lipo are also beneficial because if some women actually get swelling down at the feet because the swelling from the abdomen will track down your thighs all the way down to the feet if you're on your feet a lot. So if that becomes an issue, then having tighter compressions might be beneficial. But just get something that's comfortable. Like I said, it doesn't have to be crazy tight. This is just a precautionary thing. Have you had anyone with a hernia and fixed while doing this procedure? We don't fix hernias, so no. And this isn't done in an OR setting. You're awake during the procedure. If you require the hernia to be fixed, it is preferable that you have that done before liposuction. And once they've been repaired, it shouldn't be an issue. We're working in a different layer, and usually there's a mesh that separates the 2 layers. With hernias that are perhaps not complete and bulging through, like it's just kind of the tissues weakening a little bit, or even sometimes it's pooching out a little bit, like at the umbilical. Sometimes we can work around these small hernias, and it's just so simple. You guys are gonna laugh. But the hernia is essentially a hole in the tissue. So we literally stick the finger in there, and as I stick my finger in there, I'm working around it. So there's no chance. If I do my technique right, it's no chance. It's not possible. We never had an issue with it. Okay. You get blood pressure issues because of weight gain? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. Blood pressure issues, diabetes, heart disease. What they say with the cholesterol, high cholesterol will lead to plaque in the veins and arteries, which that's everywhere in the entire body. So we only know about the stuff, or people only talk about the heart disease, but the plaque builds up throughout the entire body, causing problems all over the place. All over the place. Once you start realizing how bad it is, the things that you're doing, that's usually what allows you to push forward and do the difficult things and have the discipline, because once you start realizing it's like you're putting toxins, and if you start seeing it that way, if you see it as a toxic thing, you can't keep putting it in your mouth. It's like eating poison. Once you realize what you're eating is like you're eating poison, stuff that's killing you. And if you can realize that, if you can like consciously have that awareness, like, oh my gosh, the stuff that I'm doing is killing me, then you'll change. And not only that, you'll start searching and finding out how you can be healthier. And I'm not here to tell you all the answers. I'm here to point you in the direction. My gift is sucking the fat out of people. That's my gift. I have the ability to take out a substantial amount of fat, and for me it's easy. and we can create these amazing shapes and get these incredible results. And that's my gift. That's what I do well. And I know that the best results are coupled with the lifestyle changes and the improvements that the individuals do, because I know that the ones that get the best possible results are the ones that tell me these stories. They come with the stories. And there's patterns. I've seen patterns. Thousands and thousands of people, I see patterns. So what I'm here to do is tell you, hey, look, everyone's choice. This is your choice. You can do whatever you want. But if you want to get results like this and have it the rest of your life, then this is what you got to do, right? And if you follow these paths, all you have to do is follow what these girls do. They've done it. You know, people like Rebecca, she's 2 years out and she's still sharing new stuff. Blanquita, she's had multiple procedures. She's 3-4 years out. They're still improving. They're still getting better. This is Rebecca here. She's still getting better, still improving, still showing off, still has the confidence. In fact, as you improve and get better, it's a slow improvement of your confidence too. And eventually you have this like sense of, I'm awesome. Nobody can say anything about me because I love myself. And once you love yourself, everyone else will love you too. It's the way this stuff works. But you got to start with you. You got to look within. Instead of looking without, you're looking outside of you and thinking that you have to get your joy and happiness from something else, like a nice car or a nice house or a nice whatever. Instead of thinking that that purse is going to make you feel good, you look within and figure out what can you do to make yourself better. And as you improve, it makes you feel better because you feel this sense of confidence, like I can do this. Instead of saying I can't, you change. You say I can do this. And once you feel and believe that you can do it, you start to feel better about yourself. Life is good. It's amazing. You know, this temperature's warming up. Yeah, Kimmy, choose your difficult. That was kind of, you know the lesson. You've heard it before. You know, we've all heard a lot of these lessons. I just try and put them in a different format for you so you can think about it differently. And if you think about it differently, it'll start developing new pathways in your brain. This is neurological, cool stuff. Where are we located? That's Melly. We are located in Las Vegas. Short flight from anywhere. Playground for adults. Okay, over you hoes. Okay, I'm coming up on a year since I came to you. No regrets here. That's good to hear. Love hearing that. You know, I got to be honest. When I first see like someone's like, I had my procedure a couple years ago or whatever, and I'm just waiting. You know, hopefully the person's happy, right? But you know, fortunately, you know, most of the people that jump on here, they're very happy and grateful, and it's impacted their life, and that's to me what's really exciting. And it's nice for all of the new individuals that jump on here to see and to share in the excitement and the hopes that someday that you can have the same excitement and have your own time. You know, whenever it's your time, when you decide, you know, enough is enough, because that's really all it takes. And it just takes that decision. Like, you know what? I am so sick of living this way and having these issues. And I know that if I don't make a change now, that in the future things are going to be worse. And once you have that realization, you can make a decision and move forward and do whatever is necessary to change your life and do it for the long term. Do you have any treatments for cellulite? Pill 570. You know, I've had some interesting experience with cellulite over the years. I do have some techniques and some special instrumentation, but cellulite isn't necessarily a fat issue. It's really more of a connective tissue disorder. So if you can imagine, you have the skin that's up top here and all this fat underneath, and then our body has this connective tissue that it holds it all down so the skin doesn't fall off, right? So we have this connective tissue that holds it in place. Now sometimes these connective fibers, because they're just little fibers, sometimes they'll pull harder in one area than another, and another area will kind of bulge up. So you get these ripples of the cellulite. So it's not the fat, it's the connective tissue that's pulling down. So theoretically, and this was the concept, is you go in and you clip these fibers, and then the skin pops back up, and it works fairly well, and it works good. But the problem is when you have dimples all over the place, you have tons of cellulite all over the place, it's less effective. And you tend to get more issues come from wiping out all of the connective tissue. It causes other problems. So it's not the best solution. But those of you who have specific dimples, like deeper dimples in different places, we can release the tissue. A lot of the girls have the dimples on the butt. And so when you do the fat transfer, I use this. I almost always use the special instrumentation. This is like it's a fork. It comes in and it cuts these fibers, and so I can release all the tissue to eliminate the dimples on the butt. So I've also seen in just plain liposuction, when we use the laser skin tightening, the smart lipo helps to reduce the cellulite by it contracts all the tissue. So it uses the heat, and the heat causes a contraction and stimulates more collagen growth, which seems to help with the cellulite. There's some non-surgical treatments for cellulite too. I'm not a huge fan of them. Mink says, when you suggest socks for your procedures, are you not stating compression socks? Yeah, for the procedure itself, you don't need the compression socks for the procedure itself. The compression socks are for post-op. So it's for reducing the risk for blood clots. Or if you have swelling in your feet, then it's to reduce the swelling in your feet. But for the day of the procedure, we work hard, and when we work hard, we sweat, and so it's kind of gross when we're sweating profusely. So we keep the room pretty cold, and when we keep it cold, when you're on the table and you're not working as hard as us, then you might get cold. So that's why we suggest just regular socks to keep your feet warm. Many women, their feet get cold, so it's just something we found to help you. Okay, Over You Hose says, that's me on the screen. That's awesome. With the yellow top. Over You Hose 17. All right, I like the name. It's fun to say. Brings me back to the good old days, right? Whenever that was. Wow, amazing trabajo lo que haces. Spanish, all right. I'm sorry, I can read Spanish. I understand the words, but I still can't put it together in my mind. Okay, how long ahead you're booked out? How about the patients out of town? So in the how far you need to book out, we do need to do a medical clearance prior to the procedure, and that entails a completion of our medical history as well as labs. And however long that can be done, all this stuff can be done very quickly if you do it very quickly. But if it takes you time, then it's going to take more time. We recommend, giving that about a 2-week time period to get those things done. However, you can literally get it done in a day if you want to, if you're in a rush. And there are people that move through the system quicker if you choose to. So it just depends on your motivation. But we do have things that need to be done. So we have to get you cleared medically. We have to do the things that are important for your health. Okay, the body is only the accumulation of what we consume. Nice, absolutely, Gloria. This is like the diamonds, right? If you can capture those diamonds and actually put it forward, so now when you can move forward, you remember that. So every time you put something in your mouth, you realize, hey, I'm just an accumulation of the things that I put in my mouth. And so when you look at it, you're like, that's garbage. Pop it in, and you're like, okay, now you're going to become a little bit of garbage. And the next time you do it, you become a little bit more of garbage. So then in 15, 20 years, if you ate a bunch of garbage, don't be surprised when you have high blood pressure, your heart's clogged, and you're having, issues with your heart, or you're obese. You can't complain about that stuff because you did it to yourself, and we all do it to ourselves. So you have to take 100% responsibility for your actions. So every time you look at that food, start thinking, I am what I consume. This is my temple. What kind of building blocks do you want to use to create your house? Do you want the house of straw, or do you want it made of bricks? See, I can even relate this stuff to like nursery rhyme stuff. We were taught these lessons a long time ago, and everybody thinks you know this stuff, but you're not applying it. That's the problem. Okay, how much for back lipo? My bra roll and a little beneath it. Do you have any specials? So Mickey Michelle World, we do have our quick quote. You're gonna have to go through our system on our website. It's easy. You can do it while we're talking here. You just go on there, click on the link, and um, go through the system. You'll get your quote, and if you need more detailed, you might have questions or concerns. If you need to speak with myself or Kale, then we have our formal consultation. But at least you can get a basic idea of our pricing. And we put together specific packages for the most common areas treated. And the packages are meant to treat the whole problem. And so what we had issues in the past is that some people, for financial reasons, they would skip treatment of an area which was really important, which totally messed up the results. And so we weren't able to get the best results for the patient because of their poor choice. And so in a way, and I know, and I'm not trying to like force people to, and if you want to, make changes, we can make changes, but in a way, it's my intention is to get you the best possible results and to try to reduce the amount of decisions that you have to make. And so, we know how to get these kind of results. I just need to make sure that we can treat as much as we need to treat in order to get these results. Because if you limit us, then you get limited results, right? And so that's kind of the idea of how I created the system and why it was done. Okay. Mink says, can I admit I've been bringing all the bad shit leading up to the next week? You can admit it. Just leave that bad shit at home. Yeah. No, it's look, we all have the thoughts. It's not that you don't have these thoughts, these bad thoughts, these negative energies, these like, what if bad stuff happens. It's not that we don't have these thoughts. It's about recognizing them and knowing based off of your experience and knowledge that the risks are appropriate for the actions that you're taking. So, you may be scared of discomfort or whatever, swelling afterwards. You might be scared of recovery, the actual process itself, but the results are worth it. And so if you believe that, then you'll go through the process. And if you don't believe that, then that's where the friction comes. That's when you're like, I don't know what to do. I'm not sure, and you're insecure because you don't know. You don't believe that this is possible for you. So once you believe it's possible, and once you see of what other people have done that are similar to you, then it's just a matter of if it's worth it to you to become that person. If it's worth it to you to go through whatever is necessary to get these results. And if that means a tough recovery, if that means that you have to spend some money, if that means that you have to travel across the country, whatever that means, if you want this, then you do whatever is necessary. And everyone's different, about like 85% of our patients are flying in from out of state because the results are freaking amazing and they're not getting this anywhere else. See, believe, and trust. Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, and sometimes at some point you just have to have faith, right? And I'm not a religious person, so this is not a religious ploy here at all. But at some point, once you make the decision, you have to let go because now it's in my hands, it's in Kale's hands, it's in our staff's hands. You just have to let it go and you gotta trust. And hopefully you made the right decision. And I want to assure you that you made the right decision by showing you examples of the work that I've done and allowing you to communicate with other individuals that know me, that trust me, that like me, and can share information with you. And if you're trying to make the decision, make sure you're getting on with these other people, that you're getting onto our private Facebook page and you're able to connect with our previous patients. Since these people that you see behind us, these are real people. They are posting these pictures. We are just sharing them. They post the pictures, we share them. So that's why the pictures are not perfect. Sometimes they're wearing clothes, sometimes they're not wearing clothes. Lighting sucks. Backgrounds, their house, messy. It's not perfect, but it's real. And if you want the fake shit, then go look at the Google reviews. Go look at Yelp. Go look at wherever else they do those stupid review sites, and they're all fake. They're all paid for. Even the good ones, bad ones. You just don't know what's real anymore. I'm sorry. That's the truth. You don't know what's real anymore. If you see some, I see some of these companies that have like 5-star reviews, and you look at their pictures and they're disgusting. Like the results are horrendous, but yet they have 80, 90, 100, 200 5-star reviews, and this doctor's amazing, but where the hell are the results? Where's the proof? Where's the proof? I don't know how this works. I don't know how people are still doing this stuff, and you see, just because it says 5-star, you believe this stuff. It's nonsense. I mean, we've been lied to all throughout our society, and yet this is still one of those things people are getting caught up in. That's why I created this group, is because I think it's bullshit, this review system. And I was fighting against it for a while, and I tried to, bolster it up and get people to leave reviews for us and play their stupid ass game. I tried, and I had whatever limited success, but it's a losing battle unless you pay. It's just you got to pay, because you got to pay to play. A lot of the review sites, they want you to pay them, so then they can filter out the reviews. Fair, not fair, you believe whatever you want to believe, right? But I try to create this situation where we could be more upfront, we could be more honest, and we can connect you with these people to give you the information that you need to make the proper decision, because ultimately that's what it comes down to. You got to make the right decision for yourself. Okay, brutal, non-offensive honesty. That's a good definition, right? That's a good description of me. And I know that I don't like to sugarcoat things, so you'll get that from me. I'm not gonna sugarcoat, and it's not about fairies and unicorns and glitter and stuff. My daughter loves that stuff, and I try to sugarcoat things for her, but this is the real life. You guys want results, and I'm not here to tell you that everything's perfect all the time. I'm not here to tell you that. I'm here to tell you that if you're willing to put forth the effort and put forth the time and do the things that are necessary to change your lifestyle, this can be you for the rest of your life. I mean, just try to imagine for a moment what your life would be like if you went from this fuller belly over here to this person with a flat belly. Like, what does that change in your life? The first thing you might think about is your clothes. Clothes would fit different, absolutely. But you know what? Now since you don't have that big belly, you're gonna start wearing more fitted clothes. That makes sense, right? Because now you actually fit into clothes. When you start wearing more fitted clothes, do you think other people are gonna notice? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And they're going to wonder what the heck happened, how you changed, what you did. And you know what that becomes? Now, this is where you start paying it forward. Because when you start explaining to them how you were able to change your life, you become an inspiration and a motivation to others that are just like you, who want to change their life too, but they don't know how. They're not sure how, so they're stuck. And you know how it feels to be stuck. We all do. We were all stuck at some point until we pushed through and we achieved whatever it is we were trying to achieve. Audra here, man, freaking rock star. She made some huge dramatic changes in her life, and it changed everything. And then, she's just constantly living her best life and doing things that, she felt like she wasn't getting any younger. Now's the time. Might as well live your best life. And that's what it's all about. And when you make that decision, you're like, now is the time. That's when change happens. It doesn't, if you're saying, I should diet, I should get up and walk around more, I should go to the gym, I should drink more water. If you're the person that's still talking about your shoulds, you'll never move forward. It has to become a must. And the must means I must change. And if you don't change, the consequences have to be severe. And so that's why when people get sick in their 4th, 5th, 6th decades, when it starts to catch up to them, so they get like diabetes or heart disease or high blood pressure, when they start to get sick, that's when they have these realizations like, oh my gosh, I haven't been taking care of myself. I got to start. And that's when they're able to change. But why do you have to wait until you're close to dying? Because what if you're too late? Don't wait. You have to realize that this is already happening. Just fast forward in your life. Look at your parents. Look at someone else that's doing the same things that you're doing, and what happens in 20 years. We have examples all over the place. So, you know, pleading ignorance, well, I didn't know, BS. You have lots of friends that are just like you and they're 20 years ahead, 30 years ahead. What's happening to them? We all have examples. You can see them in the media, in the news. You have friends, you have family. They're there. This is the way our society works. We learn from the people ahead of us. So if you want to change your outcome, because you're going to also see people that are doing different stuff, and people that are doing things in their older age that maybe they're much more active, they have more energy, more vitality, they're living what you might perceive as a good life. They have a good life. They're happy and they're enjoying and they're doing, and they're capable. And let's say you want to be like that person. Well, all you have to do is start mimicking them. You do the same thing that they do, and eventually your path will go in the same direction. It's the habits. It's those little habits that you do, little things that you do on a daily basis. That's the stuff that changes you forever. Mickey says, okay, is it better to get arm lipo or an arm lift? I heard arm lipo is not as sufficient as arm lift, but I don't want a long cut in my arm. Mickey, I'm glad you came here. I hope I can save you. Arm lifts, my opinion, and disclosure here, I don't do arm lifts, and so therefore I don't recommend arm lifts. But I've had a lot of patients who have had arm lifts and then have come to get liposuction. And every one that I've seen, the women absolutely hate the scars. They hate them. They're nasty, and it's this big scar from the inner arm here all the way to the armpit, and it's usually big and thick because there's tension on it. And a lot of the girls end up getting tattoos. So if you're not a tattoo person, then you're gonna have this big, thick, purple, nasty scar. So I'm not a fan of them. However, like I said, I've said this before, everyone's different, so it's not my choice to make. But liposuction is for fat. Cutting is if there's only a skin problem. So if you only have a skin problem, like let's say you lost, 100 pounds and you just have an empty, it's just skin, it's empty though, then yeah, cut that stuff off. That's, if that's the problem, if the skin's the problem, then cut it off. But if you have fat in there and it's full, then when we remove the fat, the skin retracts back. It's incredible how it works. But you can see this, time and time again. I'm not making this stuff up. You can see how the skin retracts back, very quickly, and it happens naturally. And if you can imagine, when we go in there, we're going to break up all the tissue, we suck out all the fat, and it traumatizes the tissue. And then the body's natural reaction is to stick everything together with scar tissue. So we compress it, we put the compression garments on, and it allows the scar tissue to grow, and it's like glue. It sticks everything together. So that's why everything tightens up. That's why the belly is not an empty hanging sack. It can tighten up. It's possible. Okay. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of arm lifts. And you can see how well the skin does tighten up. And for all fairness, perfection is unattainable. We always strive for perfection, but it's unattainable, and you have to be realistic. We do the best that we can, but it's never perfect, right? So maybe you might feel afterwards you wish the skin were a little bit tighter. Maybe you wish we got a little bit more fat out. Maybe there was some slight irregularity and you wish it wasn't like that. Okay, but it's it's a consequence of doing these type of procedures. Okay, Mickey says, amazing results. Thanks. I'm going to schedule for a consultation on your site. That's awesome, Mickey. I can't wait to work with you. Okay, please recommend scar surgery site products or what's popular and works. So for the scars afterwards, my understanding of scars and how it works, and I'm not an expert at this, but this is my understanding of it. There's a couple products. One brand is called Mederma, and it's expensive. It's the most expensive.
and it's probably because it's a brand. It was a medical company that they now sell retail, but they sell at a higher price. Now there may be other brands out there that are comparable that are significantly cheaper. So the brand is Mederma, and what it is it's like a jelly-like material that goes on the scar, and the idea is that it adds additional hydration, which helps the scar to heal and to mature and makes it go away. So that's the idea. So people have also used something like vitamin E oil, which again helps with the hydration, but you have to continue to put it on continuously. And then there's some other creams and things of that nature. But if you want to get more aggressive, perhaps going to seek the care of like a dermatologist, they may have some other tricks. But that's obviously you're gonna have to spend a little bit more money for that. Okay, is skin retraction the same for all age groups? No, CJ Garcia. In fact, for each individual, it's different. It's not something that we can predict. However, you can see, most people will do exceedingly better than you would imagine. Which that's the thing that's like, it's amazing to me of what's even possible. But like I said, you just have to kind of go through this, and you're never going to get 100% of your answers because there's so many variables still. Your body's different than everyone else's body, so it's never going to be, you're never going to have all the answers. You just have to trust and believe and go, and and hopefully it works out well because we have the experience to give you the best opportunity. Silverdene is used. Silver itself is a antibacterial agent. This is a supplement, they might say, so it's not a traditional medicine. Wouldn't recommend it. However, I love it, and I don't like antibiotics, and so Silverdene, there's many silver products that are meant to reduce bacterial antibiotic, so I would highly recommend getting into that stuff so we can avoid any antibiotics. All right, I'm getting tired. Hope you guys had a great day and got some value out of this, and if you're ready, the next step is getting that quick quote. Just get our pricing. It's real simple. Go to our website, myshapelipo.com. And if you're serious, once you've got your pricing, like, hey, this is going to be awesome. We're going to do this. We're going to change our life. And I'm ready to change. Once you made that decision, the time is now, right? You got to do it right now. Because if you don't do it now, then it's like you're kicking it down the road. And then, next year, 2 years, 5 years goes by and you're still stuck in the same hole. So make the decisions. Do the research. Talk to these people. When you're ready, the formal consultation, you can speak with myself or KO for 15 to 30 minutes, and we get everything out, answer all your questions, and develop the plan to make sure that we're going to get you these results, and to make sure that you have all the information and knowledge that you need to make the educated decision that you deserve. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.